Jeunesse family, I need your help right now. Please give a powerful Jeunesse family welcome. Straight from the Scientific Advisory Board. Make some noise for Scientific Advisor, Dr. Vincent Giampapa.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
I love that. Hello, Prague. Am I on? My volume good? So, I can't tell you, I've never been in Prague before, and it is an amazing city, and I am so excited today to show you a whole new way and a whole new level of science here for Jeunesse. So with that, let's get started with the video first.
The human body is home to 37 trillion cells, each processing thousands of pieces of gene-composed DNA every minute. Our bodies are essentially biological computers running on DNA software, with enough DNA in each cell to stretch from the Earth to the Sun 100 times. Just as a computer or its software can be damaged, the function of our stem cells and body cells declines as we age. Each decade, the activity of our genes changes. The genes begin to function poorly until they eventually stop dividing. The net result is declining health and rapid aging. With AM and PM Essentials from Jeunesse, you can support your body's well-being. Formulated by a Nobel Prize nominee, AM and PM Essentials combines plant extracts, herbs, probiotics, amino acids, vitamins, and minerals to support your body's daytime and nighttime needs. The result? Improved quality of life from the inside out. AM and PM Essentials packets are easy to take with you wherever you go. Mix a packet in water. It's a great way to take care of your human machine and the software it runs on. You only have one body. Give it the best you can with AM and PM Essentials, featuring formulas that work at the source of your cell's genetic software, taking an evolutionary step beyond vitamins and minerals. As part of your daily lifestyle, they can also help you wake up with more energy and experience more restful sleep.
So today, I want to explain how each one of us needs to look at ourselves in a completely different way, about who we are and what we are. And this is all about the latest science of cellular aging and how all this impacts every one of us, okay? So most of us believe at the science community that we really can make a difference in how we age. And now I think you're going to see more and more about the advances in aging and cellular therapies, oral products, for the first time can really, really make a difference in how we all age.
The rare opportunity I've been given to live the life of the mind. But I know I need my body, and that it will not last forever. As we age, and we make copies of cells, tiny errors creep into our genes. This process seems inevitable, but stem cell researchers disagree.
One of them is Dr. Vincent Giampapa. He believes our body's own natural reserves of stem cells can stem the tide of decay.
So, what I'm trying to show you is even the scientific community has made tremendous leaps forward in the last year or two. And today, I want to present a whole new perspective on what our products can do, particularly AM/PM, a whole new delivery system, and how this product that's been extremely well received by every one of you, actually globally well received, we've even made better. We've upgraded it. So DNA is like a computer program, but far, far more advanced than any software we've ever created. Now, that's not my quote. That's a quote from Bill Gates, okay? So basically, DNA computers we have today, we have those today, and it's the first generation of computers based on DNA. So it's a computer that uses DNA to store information and perform complex calculations, but DNA computers can actually arrive at not one solution that standard computers do. We put input into them and it gives us an answer, but a DNA computer could give you dozens of different possible explanations or solutions to a problem you program it for. Now, why is that important? We have 100 trillion cells in our body, and every second, each one of those cells has to respond to the information input by thousands and thousands of different new stimuli. Each one of our cells is basically an individual computer running on genetic software. So a standard computer runs on a program based on zeros and ones. It can process tremendous amounts of information. Now imagine a DNA computer. It runs on 4 pieces of basic data, our 4 base pairs. So basically, our cells can process thousands of times of more information, thousands of pieces of information per second compared to what our present computers do. You have 100 trillion cells. Each one has its own genetic software. Each one has to respond to thousands and thousands of pieces of information to keep you healthy and help you age optimally. Okay, so just like a computer program or the software in your computers gets a virus, how many people have had a virus in their computer here? And what happens when you get a virus or you get a second virus or third virus? Your computer crashes. The exact same analogy happens inside our cells as we accumulate damage to our DNA, our genetic software. The only difference is if we continue to accumulate damage to that genetic software, our DNA, we suffer the consequences of poor health and rapid aging. Okay. So each day of your life, you basically have an opportunity for you to either restore and enhance your cell function, help your genetic software work more optimally, or you suffer the consequences of not either knowing what you can do or not executing what you can do. So the most recent approach to cellular aging today, and which is what we're going to talk about, is based on your genetic software, your DNA, and helping it to repair itself, work more optimally, and function more optimally. It's a whole new way of looking at how we age and how empowered we really are. So as we begin to understand how to program our cells in our DNA software, we've really entered another whole new era of how we can treat the cellular aging process, this time at its actual origin, at the program that we all have inside each one of our 100 trillion cells. And there's more than one program, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So our bodies are biological machines. You have to start looking at yourself as a Ferrari, okay? You're a high-tuned machine, genetically evolved over hundreds of thousands of years. But guess what? That machine needs to be maintained, okay? So right now, if we took out all the DNA from each one of your 100 trillion cells, that would be enough DNA to go to the moon and back 6,000 times. That's even beyond most people's ability to visualize what that means. But that gives you an inkling of how important our DNA is, okay? So what does this mean in general to what's happening on a global basis? Here's what's happening. The number of people getting older, 60 plus, is increasing logarithmically. That means the model of medicine we're practicing today, treating symptoms of the aging process, but not the origin, is really completely obsolete at the moment. And that also means most industrialized countries are going to go bankrupt if they don't change their treatment, their medical model of treating all of us as we get older. What we really need is a proactive and preventive model, and the only way we're going to do that is working at the origin of our DNA, our genetic software. And if you take a look at what's going to happen over the next 5 to 7 to 10 years, it means that Jeunesse is going to have the opportunity to interact, improve the quality of lives for millions and millions of people as they age. Now, this is a big, big plus for the potential future market for every one of us, you, and the products we make here at Jeunesse. Okay. So we created AM/PM when the company started in tablet form. And virtually everybody who's taken this product has experienced an improvement in the quality of their health. They sleep better, they have better energy, their body composition is better, their hair, skin, and nails tend to grow rapidly. So it's been a very positive and, most importantly, experiential product. You not only feel the difference, you see the difference. And that's one of the secrets to most of Jeunesse's products. They're experiential, you can see and feel the difference. So AM/PM Essentials is now available, or will be shortly available. Actually, this is a soft launch, in a little powdered stick and crystals that you mix with water. Now, this is a whole new game changer because instead of taking additional tablets or pills or gels, you can combine this with water, which we all need more of, and we should be drinking more, but you can combine it with a number of other Jeunesse products, so we're taking less things, but getting more of an impact when we combine them together. And I'm going to show you how we can do that a little bit later in this presentation. So AM/PM Essentials, basically, my goal for AM/PM Essentials was to design a foundation product that once you use would help each one of those 100 trillion cells in our body work a little more efficiently, a little more optimally, so that the other products in our YES system, your body would respond to even better. So if you have to choose what to do, what company to go with, the YES system is amazing. What are the key things about the YES system that other companies don't have? The products have been designed on pure science. The products are experiential. You see and feel the difference. And then the products are designed, the more you use, they work in synergy, so your net effect on your body and your mind and your health is a bigger magnitude. So these are things that have made Jeunesse a success, and the YES system, we continue to develop products that fit within that mold. And here's the system. So we'll talk about how these individual products at the end of this talk, how we can use those together and actually create programs. Okay. So exploring the cell, basically, it's the basis of our present and future health. So every one of you are experiencing a level of health right now. It's not even close to where you could be. So if you think you're in great health now, you could potentially, in 12 weeks, be in dramatically better health based upon what I'm going to be showing you in just a few minutes. Okay. So if we were to take a trip into the body, what would happen? Okay. We're going to make ourselves a little nano size and dive into this young lady's body. What we would do is see one of these 100 trillion cells, and these little white streaks you're going to see in a minute are these free radicals our body forms when we eat food. They create damage to our genetic software. We'll dive into in a minute, we'll dive into the control center of our cells in each one of those 100 trillion cells, the nucleus. Dive through this nuclear pore, and we're going to see our chromosomes. The chromosomes are basically the body of our genetic software. And then the chromosomes are wrapped tight with little protective compounds called histones that actually protect the genetic software from the damage. And right there, our genetic software, right there, is the origin of the aging process, a break in that software, analogous to a virus in your computer. It's also the beginning of a wrinkle. It's also the beginning of a sore tendon, a loss of cartilage. What's happening at that point is our body's inability to repair and restore itself. Okay. So today, we're trying not to talk about anti-aging. That's a term of the past. We're talking about cellular health, okay. Keeping our body cells healthy, our stem cells healthy, increasing the number of functional cells. So we're looking at a whole new paradigm based on this whole new vision of who we are as human beings. But in a quick summary, basically we have roughly 100 trillion cells that make up the human body. Well, that's pretty much, it's a big number. Let me give you a vision, an image. 100 trillion cells, 100 trillion is more cells than we know of in the known galaxy. It's a lot of cells. Each one of those cells has 6 feet of DNA. Maybe DNA is a pretty important thing. So we have stem cells, which are the least number. There's those two general pools of cells. We have our body cells, our stem cells. And what's the difference is those stem cells are called into action when our body cells get damaged or the cells can't copy themselves to keep our organs and our body in general in good health. Okay. So basically, here on the left, you'll see these blue cells. How do cells age? Up until about 30, our body is able to repair the damage to our genetic software. And this is amazing, but about every day, each one of our cells suffered about 500,000 damage sites to our genetic software. And until we're about 30, we can repair all of that. So after 30, we start to notice that our genetic software can't be repaired efficiently. So we start to see these little flaws in how we act and how our health is. But as that damage accumulates, the cells become less and less healthy. And if we don't fix that damage or slow it down, we end up with cancer, we end up with age-related diseases. And it's a program that's been pretty much designed into us as human beings over the last 500,000 years. So if you take a look at things, I mean, when we're young as babies and we turn into adolescents and mature adults, we're using up our stem cells to regenerate what we need to have as an adult, a perfectly healthy body. And that body stays pretty perfectly healthy for about 15 to 20 years. Maybe from 20 to maybe our late 30s or mid-30s when we start to suffer the damage. And we start to see decline in our bodies, how they look, how youthful we feel, how youthful we look. And then old age sets in because of this decline in stem cell numbers, function, and our body cells function. You heard Christian talk about the new product Vita Blue, which helps maintain our stem cell numbers. Okay, then we have AM/PM, and we have Reserve that helps keep our free radical levels down. And we have the combination of Genest products to help limit damage to our genetic software. All of this has been thought through as part of the YES system. So let's take a look at this video. So basically, each one of our bodies has this 100 trillion cells, and what happens is cells have to duplicate themselves, okay? Our stem cells help that. Cells make tissues. Tissues make organs, and organs make our body. So we had to figure out, how can we keep one cell working more efficiently? We started to look at DNA, and we started to look at it and envision it as a genetic software program. And by using this whole concept, we have a whole new kind of perspective on what it means to get older and what the aging process is about. So basically, as we age, as I said, the red color here in this slide is stem cells, the green is our body cells. And we use up our stem cell reserves to become healthy adults, to have babies, and to propagate the human race. But once we hit this age of about late 30s, we start to accumulate these damaged cells. They're called senescent cells. And what happens is, as we get a little bit older, into our 50s and 60s, a number of those cells start to accumulate. And once they hit a certain level, we age very quickly. So our goal today in our research in the lab and research and product development is, how do we shift this back up, get rid of those nasty cells? How do we maintain our cells in a healthy fashion, working at the origin of the aging process, so that we can have more quality time and more functional time? Okay, up in the upper right-hand corner is a gene chip. Now, the yellow are active genes, the dark blue are genes that have been turned off, okay? So every decade of our life, it's kind of like a clock. A certain group of genes are activated. A few years later, they get turned off. Another group gets turned on. A few years later, those get turned off, and another group gets turned on. What our goal really is to reproduce the activity of those genes when we're in optimal health. So let's take a look. So what's going on here is the video is not playing, but I'm going to make that happen. Okay, here you see a young boy. You see his youthful genes on the left are yellow. There's very few genes on the far right in that first square, but he's aging now. Okay, now he's at the second panel here. Some of those youthful genes got turned off, and now some of the dark genes are starting to get, turned on, and some of those dark genes are turning off. He's at his late 20s, early 30s. You're still going to start to see wrinkles, gray hair. He's in the last category. And now, the third category. The last category, all those dark genes are the accelerated aging genes. So basically, what you just saw here is the following. You saw damage to the DNA due to free radicals. You saw changes in the genes and damage to the genetic software. You saw the effect of shortened telomeres, okay? And you saw, in general, for most of us, a crummy lifestyle where we're not eating the right food, we're not exercising, we're suffering stress. All of those things accelerate the aging process. Okay. So today, AM/PM Essentials is focused on a whole new kind of thought process and how can we improve the program inside each one of our cells. Okay. So when we talk about DNA damage, how important is that? This young man at 23 has a genetic inherited defect of one key gene, the gene to repair damage to his genetic software, his DNA. So if you're born with this gene defect called progeria, at 23, you're lucky he dies at 23. Of what? Old age diseases, cardiovascular disease, mental decline, severe aging of the skin, and this is one of about 100,000 people in the world who have this inherited disease. We've learned a lot about aging from this disease. So is DNA damage important? You better believe it. On the other hand, we have people who are amazing, and they happen to be born with genes that can not only repair their DNA, but probably 5 times more efficient than we can as normal humans. So is DNA repair important? Is healthy DNA, healthy functional genetic software important? It sure is. Okay. So AM/PM powder sticks have the same, basically the same effective ingredients that our tablets have had over the last 7, 8 years. But there's a little difference, and I'm going to explain what that is. And many people ask me, well, why is this different? Why is it maybe better? Okay, so as we age, we can't absorb the key nutrients that we do when we're young. So even if we eat a perfect meal, we're not getting the key plants, the plant extracts, the herbal extracts, the protein and carbohydrates we normally get because our intestines have aged. Okay, so this is one of the key things we've looked at. How do we make a product that has been very effective, make it even better? How do we get more of those essential ingredients to be absorbed so that the same quantity of those things do even a better job? Well, that's why we've come up with the powder format. All of us need more water. None of us are hydrated or we drink enough water. Well, we're making you drink at least another 16 ounces a day when we have you use this product. This product basically can be combined with, for instance, Zen, Fuse. I take my AM/PM powder stick, which is orange, I mix it with my vanilla protein, and I have a creamsicle smoothie protein with all the key vitamins, minerals, phytoextracts I need in one drink. So we're not saying open another pack, take more pills. We're trying to make the system more convenient and more efficient. So what we've also noticed in our initial clinical studies, our early studies, people have a more rapid onset of sleep. They have a more rapid onset of energy, and they seem to stay stable energy-wise throughout the day. Okay. So the key here is, if you look at AM/PM tablets and AM/PM powder stick, you're really looking at the same ingredients, but the key thing here is to think about this. Look, we all know that our phones run on 4G. What's coming, what's already here, is 5G. 5G just takes what we have in our cell phones and makes it faster, quicker, more efficient. It's the same analogy between AM/PM powder sticks and tablets. And that's, if you keep that in mind, you'll really understand why we've tried to improve a product and make it better. But and again, I have patients, and I have many people tell me, I love my tablets, I'm staying with them. Great. I have other people, particularly in Asia, who say, we have a hard time swallowing tablets. Is there anything you can do? No problem. On the other hand, my distributors, all the people, you people, have asked me, gee, it would be great if we could give out samples. Well, you can't stick your hand in an AM/PM tablet, contaminate them, and give them to somebody to take. But you can take 2 or 3 AM/PMs or 2 or 3 PMs and say, look, try this product. you're going to sleep better. You're going to feel more energy. So it becomes a way of helping people experience who haven't tried this product and let them understand the power behind the science of Jeunesse. So when I looked at designing this product, it was a whole litany of things were basically on the list to try to improve. And one of the key things is when our bodies have the right natural compounds, the cells are more receptive to hormones, to other chemicals that are normally essential for having that cell function optimally. So we looked at a number of things, and I'll go over those with you in a minute. So the big question I get too is, well, Dr. G, you know, you put all this stuff in there. How does this work? I mean, plant extracts, enzymes. It's called epigenetics, okay? And this is the latest, biggest advance in cellular aging and aging therapies. Epigenetics is a fancy word for flipping gene switches up and down. And we didn't even know about this 7 or 8 years ago. So we have 30,000 genes in each one of those 100 trillion cells. Remember, I showed you that picture of the young man, the Asian boy aging, and every few years, the symphony of the genes changes. The genes that are active or inactive change. Okay, so what happens when they change? Okay, here's what happens. So this is a peek at a piece of DNA. So if you were to swallow AM/PM Essentials, Reserve, or any of the other oral products, the little compounds we put in go through your blood system into your cell, land on your DNA. They're tiny little pieces. What happens is they'll either cause the coil of your DNA, which is usually tightly wound, to open up. And what that does is allow certain genes to get active. Other compounds will actually cause your DNA genetic software to close up, and it turns off the genes. So what seems to be a really complicated process is pretty easy, but this is all new information. And so we choose specific compounds in a very special manner so that we can flip up the genes we want active and down the genes we don't, keep the inflammatory genes inactive as much as possible. We do our best to alter and change the activity. That doesn't mean we can turn them completely off, but we certainly can ratchet certain things down and other things up. So when we choose the compounds, we have to keep in mind something. Human beings, as we know today, our biological machines, basically evolved over the last 500,000 years. So who you are today is a response of who and what your grandparents and your lineage did over the last 500,000 years. Now, obviously, we don't know who those people were, but here's what we do know. They evolved. We evolved on natural products, plant extracts, herbal extracts, enzymes, carbohydrates, fats. So we evolved on that, but the problem today is we can't get all the things that we genetically evolved on because they're not available all year long. So what we've done is look at the latest science in cellular aging, pick the key compounds we know that are involved in how our cells age more optimally, and we've actually picked those using a special software program that allows us to look at 300,000. This is what I do when I design products. 300,000 databases in about 8 hours. It then gives us what are the most recent compounds to help design products. It's a whole new step in designing products. So the past was tablets, powders. That doesn't mean they weren't effective. We need to look at the future. How do we make the products we have now work better? And here's where we are today. So I talked about different software programs. There's a general software program. There's a sub-program. The sub-program is a sleep-wake cycle. So when we're young, our sleep cycle is dominant. We sleep at night. Our wake cycle, our energy cycle is dominant. As we age, they switch. We can't sleep at night. We don't have the energy in the morning. So one of the things we looked at designing into AM/PM tablets and powder sticks was to restore the sleep-wake cycle. And that we've done amazingly well. So when we looked at 300 people who were taking this product, we noticed sleep and energy were the two key things that people experienced. And it was amazing. At 8 weeks in the light green, 12 weeks in the dark green. Now, why is sleep so important? So let me give you the latest on sleep. If you don't sleep, and I don't want to scare all of you, if you don't sleep 7 hours a day and deep sleep, your brain ages more rapidly. Your hormonal levels are not optimal. Your telomeres shorten prematurely, and you accumulate body fat due to cravings for sugar. So when somebody tells you, I only need 3 hours of sleep, you can repeat that, because everybody needs more than that. Most of your DNA repair occurs when you sleep. So up until now, there's really no way of really knowing, aside from people telling us, gee, I sleep better, blah, blah, blah. I sleep better, I have more energy. So today, we have an interesting thing. On your iPhone, you can download an app. It'll tell you not only how many hours you sleep, how much REM did you get? You should be getting at least 2 hours. How much deep sleep you get? What was your activity level? Did you burn enough calories for the day? And if you don't get up and you sit not moving around for more than 2 hours, it'll buzz your iPhone saying, get up, please. You need to burn a little more calories. This is an amazing new app. But even more importantly, we all like technology. We all like nice things. So today, this ring I'm wearing, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, measures everything for me, graphs it out for me. And so it's available, and maybe all the diamonds want to look at a diamond ring. But I use the black one. It comes in multiple different types of kind of wearable jewelry. But for the first time, you can actually see and document like a product like AM/PM, what it does at every level. So we're now looking at how do we put together technology to document the products that we're using at Jeunesse actually work better. Now, anybody who's interested, this is not a Jeunesse product at the moment, but anybody who's interested, you could just contact Kyle. He'll tell you how you can get a hold of these things. To me, it's so much fun, and it's a great way to show other people, look, this product isn't, you just don't feel good. Here's what it does. So basically, the secret behind this is a synergistic blend of the ingredients that have been chosen to help your genetic software work more optimally. Now, what we've been doing recently is also looking at when you combine more than one product together, you get 1 + 1 = 3. And the net effect is, for instance, you combine AM/PM together with Luminesce, your skin looks better than taking either product alone. You're working from the inside out and the outside in, okay? We also talked about, let me go back to this a minute. So the key thing here is, we used to think that, gee, whatever you inherited genetically, you were stuck with, okay? That's not true. You only inherit genetic tendencies, not genetic certainties. 30% of your genes are pretty much fixed. The other 70% you yourself can impact, you yourself can change with the right products and the right information. So looking at AM/PM as a foundation product that helps your cells, restores them to a more optimal state and function, allows the other products in the ES system to work even more efficiently. Optimal aging, combine Finity and AM/PM together. Now you have a more effective net result than if you take either product separately. Now this is the biggest thing. I mean, I've been working with Mark McDonald. We see that when you combine these two products, your body composition is better, your whole state of mind is better, and your ability to stay focused is better. This, to me, is one of the most important combinations. So in summary, we're ending right now. In summary, the Jeunesse product line is a series of products that are based on core science, are synergistic, they work better together, they're experiential. This is why this company has grown so quickly and continues to grow. So if DNA is our genetic software, who is the programmer? We are. And that's what we try to do at Jeunesse, to bring to you the products and the information to allow you to be your best, both health-wise and function-wise. So the best way to predict your future health is to create it. So that's up to you to make that decision. So please, take in all the information, look at all our new products, look at the new perspective of what we're talking about, and share this with other people. Get them excited about what this company can bring and change, literally change millions of people's lives if you bring the right information and you show the enthusiasm and show what it's done for you. Thank you.